More renters laying down some serious cash to upgrade their pads. I want you to think about leather walls, custom closets, and marble floors. But what happens to the investment when their lease is up? Nancy Keats, she joins Lunch Break right now from Nantucket with the details. Nancy, some of these buyers are plunking down hundreds of thousands of dollars to improve a place they don't even own. What is behind this trend?
Yeah, what's behind the trend is a huge reduction in rental vacancies so that it's hard to find apartments at the high end, and people are just making those apartments into the way they want them.
And seriously, moving walls and things like that. Let's talk about some of the recent renovations you've noted that are happening around the country. Let's start in San Francisco, renovation that Jeffrey Weissman did with his husband. Tell us about that one.
Yeah, so that was in a building. He and his husband live half time in Mexico and half time in San Francisco, and they didn't want too much of a hassle. The house in Mexico is a lot of upkeep, so they wanted just a rental, but they wanted a nice rental, and they live in a building where the rents don't go up that much. They're pretty controlled. So they put in about $300,000. They redid everything, redid the kitchen, knocked down walls, put in a lot of work into it.
And Miles Horn, this isn't just a West Coast thing. This is happening back on the East Coast, in fact, here in Manhattan. Tell us about Miles Horn and what he did on the Upper West Side.
Right, and Miles Horn is interesting because he's a real estate developer, residential real estate developer, so it's kind of ironic. But he has lived in the same place for 18 years and loves his building and loves his neighborhood, and they didn't want to leave, but it's an old building and they wanted to redo it. So they put in about $100,000 and redid everything, and the landlord continues to raise the rents every couple of years, but he says he's not going anywhere.
What I find interesting about this is if they eventually leave, they don't get paid back, I assume, by the landlord for making these renovations. And in some cases, aren't the landlords going to ask them to put the unit back the way it was before they embarked upon the renovation itself?
Right. So in pretty much every rental contract, you sign away saying that you will return the unit as you found it. And in some cases, the landlords are holding the tenants to that. So I have one example in New York where someone put in about $50,000 of work or changes, and the landlord didn't like it, and he made them take it out. It cost another about $30,000 because some of these fixes or renovations can be very unique and particular to certain people. But I think in most cases, what happens is the landlord says, okay, but I want to be able to see what you're doing, and the landlord will review it. And generally, I think it's in the person's interest to put in something that they think that the landlord won't make them take out.
And on the plus side, I mean, the landlord in some cases is going to actually get a very nice renovation and not have to spend a dime on it.
Right, that's absolutely true. And you never know when you're going to find a renter who likes malachite sinks. I mean, it can happen.
Who doesn't like malachite sinks, Nancy? Really, really. All right. Thanks so much for being with us. Enjoy Nantucket. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.